Hey there, Packer Nation guys and dolls. It is Thursday, and we're going to be talking about Brett Favre going into the Hall of Fame today. So I want to lay that out up front. I know some people are still a little bit peeved at Brett Favre, so maybe this isn't the show for you. We've got other things I want to talk about, but yeah, Brett Favre going in, extremely important. We are loving to finally see this thing come full circle and Brett Favre get inducted into the Hall of Fame. By the way, behind me, you might see, while you guys are getting on, it's time for Packer Nation Roll Call. Let me know where you're from, who you are, and I'll give you a shout out. But I do want you to notice, you may hear a little background noise. YouTube has uploaded Super Bowl 45, Packers versus Steelers. So if you guys are looking for something to do either tonight or tomorrow, before the Packers start the preseason on Sunday, maybe a Saturday afternoon activity to do, you now can get on YouTube and watch the Packers beat the Steelers in Super Bowl 45. Hey there, Hector. Good to see you again this morning. And Hector says hi to the Packers family. Go Pack Go. Harlow is here from New York. Dale is here from Arizona. Good to see you, Dale. John Shackelford, good to have you back. Who else is out there? We got Angela from Tennessee. Angela, I am in Johnson City. So if you need to watch a game, you got a place to watch it. All right, come on down sometime. Fabian is here from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Fantastic. It's great to have you. Man, it is rolling so fast I can't even keep up with it. Bernadette is here. Grayson is here. Steve is here. There's Jared Dixon, my man. How are you? Lindsay is here. Danielle is here. Blake is here from Minnesota. Megan is here. Getting ready to head to Canton. Oh, yeah. Sounds good. Michael Johnson, good morning. And Tracy from Iowa. Man, Packer Nation stretching across the globe. It's good to hear from all you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday morning. Guys, the weekend is almost here, and this is a weekend of Packer football. It's going to be freaking awesome, and I am actually more excited about preseason games than I have been in a long time. You know, whenever you get to the preseason games, you're just excited to see the Packers play some football. However, this year I really like this matchup: Indianapolis against the Packers and Brett Hundley against Scott Tolzien. It's going to be interesting to see. Both coaches are going to be out there just kind of getting installs done and doing what they want to do. They're not going to be focused on the game, the score, et cetera, et cetera. But I am going to be looking at how these two quarterbacks play. It's going to be interesting. I'm doing good, Jared. How are you? I hope you're well today. DM is here. Hector says 3 days away. So Hector has a message for Packer Nation. It won't be long. The wait will be over soon. Sean is here. Kim is here. Manuel is here. Mickey, hi. Good to see you guys. Cassandra, so excited about football. Let's get back to be back. Let's go Packers. Yeah, absolutely. Bernadette from Connecticut. Kathy is here. Can't wait for my Packers. That's right. And you know, this is really a special weekend overall. I'll try to keep doing a roll call here if I can, but because people are still rolling on. Well, Phil is back. Hey, good to see you, man. Yes, and Phil is asking this question, and so I'll put this out as a poll because it's a fantastic question, and Phil's a Vikings fan. Don't hate on him. Respect, man. We've got to beat these guys to take back the NFC North. And his question is this: what are your guys' thoughts? Let's do this as a poll. Let's do thumbs up if you're okay with it. Not that you necessarily like it, but if you're okay with it. And give me an angry face if you're upset about the Brett Favre jersey display, including the Vikings jersey. All right, so Phil's getting on here, stirring it up a little bit on a Thursday morning. I'm loving it, man. I'm the thing that, and we got an angry. We're 1-1. We got angry faces coming in there, Phil. There's a few angry faces in Packer Nation. So, to me, when I look at the Brett Favre's overall career, and the fact that the vast bulk of his career was with the Packers, I think Packer Nation, it's so hard for us to get over those couple of years. But I think at some point we are, and yes, the display has the jerseys for the teams he played with. But I think we all, when at the end of the day, when all is said and done, his jersey is retired at Lambeau, and he's retired as a Packer. And I personally, it didn't bother me too much. I saw it as fact, not fiction, and I didn't read too much into it. So that's my take on it. It would be interesting to me to be a Vikings fan and see this from the other side. You know, a guy who took us to the NFC Championship game, and you guys hadn't been there in a while, since Randy Moss, I suppose. And it had been a long time. And at the beginning of the season there, the touchdown pass that sort of sparked everything after the kind of failing with the Jets. As a Minnesota Viking fan, it would be interesting. But then to see Brett Favre go in as a Green Bay Packer, get his number 4 is retired in the Packers Ring of Honor, and et cetera, et cetera. For me, there isn't really anything that can take that away at this point. So I'm really kind of copacetic about the whole thing. So I'm not super angry. We did actually post a post about that last night. That really, is Canton really going to do this to Packer Nation? So, but fantastic question. And I hope some of you got on. Phil mentioned last night, I think there was a soccer game that would give you a good glimpse of the new U.S. Bank Stadium, the NFC North. Let me just say this, and this will go out to Phil, any of my Bear fans, friends out there. The NFC North is going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. We were last year with the Packers going all the way and just about making it to the title game, but then also the Vikings with one missed opportunity who could have beaten the Seahawks. And now I do believe the Bears have had a fantastic offseason. I think John Fox is making a difference already down there. The NFC North is going to be an interesting division in the NFL this year. I think it's going to get back to that black and blue division, because you look at what the Bears have done. They've really tried to bolster their defense and get their defense back up to snuff. The Vikings, riding that defense anyway. You basically have Adrian Peterson and a great defense. And if Bridgewater comes on and a couple of the weapons that, Phil, you guys have brought on this year, could be a serious offense to deal with too. Of course, the Packers, we've got, a defense that really came on strong in the postseason in particular last year. We've got Clay Matthews. We've got Julius Peppers. These are guys that can get after a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. And Bridgewater, if he takes a step forward, it could make for some extremely interesting games in the NFC North. And I do see the possibility of sort of a watershed movement right now where the NFC North begins to be, once again, the division to be in the NFC. It's been the NFC West for so long. We've had the 49ers, we've had the Seahawks, and we've had now the Cardinals. The Cardinals are looking strong. The 49ers collapsed with the loss of Harbaugh and virtually every player that mattered to them. Now they've got quarterback controversy with Kaepernick. And the Seahawks, once again, really, and this is fact, not fiction, really should have been beaten by the Vikings last year. And so let's see how, again, the Vikings, who have also had a good offseason, the Packers have been solid in the offseason. This NFC North division is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL overall. And with now a league that doesn't have a Peyton Manning, and with the Broncos, the Broncos got Von Miller finally signed, but they have quarterback now that Peyton Manning has retired. The AFC side, of course, New England is going to be difficult, and we're thinking far ahead. But to me, and this is what we're looking at, guys, once again, let me just point this out. Right behind me on the screen is Packers versus Steelers, Super Bowl 45, okay? Now, I've got a really good friend. I used to work really closely with him named Bob. Give a shout out to Bob. How you doing, Bob? I hope you're out there. Bob was the engineer where I worked as training coordinator for a couple of years, and he is a huge Steelers fan. Where I live, there's a strong Steeler fan base right here in Johnson City. And I was talking to Bob about the possibility. Now, heart me if you agree with this. I think not only that it is a strong possibility, but also it would be super exciting to have a Packers-Steelers rematch in Super Bowl 51. I think two of the great ancient of old teams in the NFL going at it on the gridiron one more time. But not only that, a grudge match with the Steelers having been beaten by the Packers a few years back, Aaron Rodgers stepping out on the field again, the Ben Roethlisberger with Clay Matthews coming after him, Julius Peppers now coming after him. No more B.J. Raji, but maybe a Kenny Clark in there. LaTroy Guion is looking incredibly strong. You watch the Rock report, or actually it's their training camp 3 things report that Wes and Mike and the Rock do, Larry McCarron. And he talks about how LaTroy Guion is coming on. LaTroy Guion is an absolute force. He carries the new defensive mindset that we are bringing the fight to you. And I can't wait to see LaTroy Guion get back on the field. Of course, he's going to have a lot of reps now with Pennell being gone and suspended for 4 games. So, yeah, I'm totally excited about this season, as you can tell. But I do really favor right now, and this is not, but I do favor the Steelers in the AFC. I mean, they could very well be the team to beat. And then, especially if they get healthy. And then you look at in the NFC, obviously the Packers have to get the job done in their division first, because we are dealing with the current champion, Minnesota Vikings. That's job 1. And then Chicago Bears will be improved. Mark my words. And also, Detroit is there. Detroit is kind of the unknown at this point. So, but if we get that done, and we can have a good playoff run, and if we can remain healthy, I think we will make a run at that. And on the other side, the AFC side, I do believe the Steelers are going to really show something. So that's my take on that. But Brett Favre is going into the Hall of Fame, and really, I think, like I said yesterday, Deanna's speech in inducting him is the final speech of the night. I think that's so appropriate. You've got Tony Dungy and him, and I can see either him or Tony Dungy being sort of the last story of the night. Tony Dungy's story is actually a really poignant one as well. So if you haven't heard that story, go out and maybe grab a biography. It really will be worth your time. His story about, and it started with the Buccaneers. Tony Dungy is the reason the Buccaneers came to prominence, but then also, of course, with Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. So that would be a great story as well. But Brett Favre, after all he went through, you think about that pass to Kettrick Taylor, having Brett Favre having to step on the field, run around a little bit, look really raw, but get the job done, score the touchdown that won the game, and just his excitement, his enthusiasm, and the way he played the game. And I think Brett Favre mentioned he just wanted to be remembered as making the game fun. And I guess give me a heart right out there right now if Brett Favre made the game fun for you. I think this should be a no-brainer. Watching, Brett Favre was an unknown quantity. When I graduated high school, it was the Magic Man we were talking about. We were talking about Don Majkowski. And then Don Majkowski goes down, and the whole wind goes out of the sails of Packer Nation at that point, because we don't have the Magic Man. Who's going to step up? We've got this young kid. He's got a baby face. He drafted by Atlanta, but Jerry down there, Jerry Glanville, didn't like him very much, and he steps on the scene in that Cincinnati game. And remember, Cincinnati was a powerhouse at the time. I think that was when Mondovi native Tim Crumry was still center for the Cincinnati Bengals at the time, who spoke at my senior athletic banquet. So, but a very strong team. And for Brett Favre to step in at that point and make his name, step on the field, win the game, and never look back, to the tune of like 320 starts when count. I don't know why. Give me one good reason why they don't count playoff games. Why are they counting regular season games as if it's some different thing? I mean, for crying out loud, count the games that he started, and let's leave it at that. I mean, put an asterisk by it if you want, and put the 16-game season count down below. But he played so many games in a row, and he played so many games hurt. Remember the bad sprained ankle he had, the broken thumb, the loss of his father, the addiction, all of these things that Brett Favre went through, and then to become one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Just, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be prouder of him and his family to stay together through thick and thin. And yes, it didn't end well at the time with the Packers. And yes, he did go to get traded to the Jets by Ted Thompson. That was Ted Thompson's choice. And then he did come back and by his own sort of, finagling, ended up with the Packers. Ended up with the Vikings for a couple of years, but really were able to finally see that, I think, as water under the bridge, and now Brett Favre going into the Hall of Fame as a Green Bay Packer. And I couldn't be prouder of him, couldn't be prouder to be a Green Bay Packer fan right now because of that. And it's an exciting weekend, and then we get to play the Hall of Fame game, which is so apropos. So, Brett Favre going in, that's big for me. Let me jump back on. I'm going to look here. We got a shout-out from Kobe from Oklahoma. Hi, Kobe. Kathy is here. Always had fun watching Brett Favre. His smile, he played to win, but also did it for fun and loved the game. And that's exactly. Brett Favre talks about the pressure and how he couldn't stand not to win. But at the same time, when he scored those touchdowns and when he did pull it off, it just lit him up, and he in turn lit all of us up. It's fantastic to watch. Really, it's a nostalgic weekend for me, just because now we've got Aaron Rodgers, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing really we don't have any reason to look back on the Brett Favre era as some kind of good old days where we're really in the slump. Now we're in some kind of a hole. We're not. However, it is nostalgic because we can look back on it, and I just feel so blessed to be a Packer fan because now we do have Aaron Rodgers, and this has become, including the Don Majkowski getting the Packers back to the playoffs, has been truly a golden age, the like of which we have not seen in Packer Nation, and we need to enjoy it while we have the chance because many teams cannot boast the kind of a run that we've had. It does not come around very often. All right. Chris, congrats, Brett Favre, number 4, Hall of Fame from North Dakota. Hey there, Chris. Janet, brother and sister-in-law, are there? Good. That's great. Hey, Janet's from Eau Claire. I lived in Chippewa Falls for a couple of years. My dad's from Eau Claire. Spent a lot of time there. Good to see you on board. All right, Josh is going to be in Canton. Great. Let us know how it goes. I hope that I know Deanna is going to do a fantastic job. I'm interested to hear what she has to say. Mary Jo is here, giving congrats to Brett as well. Corey, thank you. Corey says, amen, brother. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Lilac was there on Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was raining, but we didn't notice. Oh, that's a great point. Last year's Thanksgiving game, the only thing that went wrong, obviously, is we didn't win the game. But for crying out loud, did you not get a lump in your throat to see Brett Favre hugging Bart Starr and Bart Starr making it was almost like a replay of the Ice Bowl where Bart Starr had to make that one play and he wasn't going to be denied, and he came to that game and he got out on the field and he waved to the crowd, and him and Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers all at Lambeau Field together. We may not see that again. What a fantastic moment. And really, I look back and I was disappointed about the game, but anymore when I think about it, the game cannot take away from how special that moment was, that those 3 quarterbacks were on the field at the same time. Good morning, Sean. Sean's out in California. Hi there, man. How you doing? I hope the weather's great. We're looking good here. It's nice and cool, actually. And here's another thing. I'm going to go back in and do the math a little bit because I've heard some different numbers. In terms of the Packers are second all time to the Bears in terms of numbers of Hall of Fame players in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And the way I see it right now, we have the numbers to beat the Bears in total Hall of Fame players on the team right now. Now, I'm going to go back. Again, I had to do some work because I was actually listening to Wes and Mike. They have a Packers Unplugged, I think it is called, podcast on Packers.com. I love it. It's really good. I really enjoy it. It's clear. It's fun. They have great information. I really love what Packers.com is doing with Wes and Mike, and then Mike Spofford, and then Larry the Rock. It's really, really. I think they've really taken a step forward. But they mentioned their count for the Packers' current number of players in the Hall of Fame was different than I had in my mind. So I'm going to go back and do the numbers, but wouldn't it be cool if we go ahead of the Bears for all-time Hall of Fame players right now and become number one in the league? There will be no one who can deny us our bragging rights if we become number one in the league in Hall of Fame players. And then you look at our Packer Hall of Fame is loaded with players that still should be there. And I've got Brian giving me some info, so I'm going to jump off that real quick. But yeah, how cool is that? And I think the numbers are on the board right now. So basically what that means is by the time we've got Aaron Rodgers, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, look at Mike McCarthy, look at Dom Capers. When these guys retire, there are some first, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but there are some Hall of Famers on the board, and I think it's going to be enough to at least tie, if not beat, the Chicago Bears overall. How cool is that? I mean, I can't wait for that because it just adds to the bragging rights. And, I don't have much to brag about, so I like to brag about my Green Bay Packers. So, but that's cool. All right, let me look back on here, and I know we've got some people. Got some friends in Milwaukee, says Piper, never miss a Packer game in Toronto. Awesome. Toronto is represented here for Packer Nation. Very good. Yeah, and Hector says, Starr, Favre, and Rodgers at Lambeau for a night. What a moment. And absolutely, I completely agree. All right. And I think Bart Starr, is one of the true throwback gentlemen of this league that just truly makes me appreciate not just Packer history, but NFL history. And I would love at someday, in fact, this is true. This is actually a fact. I'm just remembering this now, but I actually dreamed about, I don't know why, but I dreamed about meeting Bart Starr, and we were talking, and at one point I just stopped him and I said, man, can I just shake your hand? And I just shook his hand and told him it was an honor to meet him. And that was weird. That was either last night or the night before, but that just happened. But I love the guy. I love what he did. I love what he's about. He's got a ranch for children, I believe. I haven't looked into it for a long time, but he has made a name for himself after his retirement as being a humanitarian, and that's a good thing to see. So, yeah, just love the guy. All right. I guess it's about time to wrap it up. I gotta get some posting done. I want to watch the rest of this and kind of get some. I kind of want to look at what the Green Bay Packers have to do to get back to the Super Bowl, and I think that's one of the questions that's going to begin to be answered come Sunday. Even though it's not about the game score or anything like that, what we are going to be doing is seeing the coaches get a look at a lot of these young players and begin to stitch this team together in a way that will create synergy, that the whole will be greater than the sum of its parts. And that's what teamwork and team sports and NFL football is all about. So I will leave you with that thought and let you guys roll up. Let me know who's out there. If you didn't get a shout out earlier, just throw your name back up and where you're from, and I'll give you a shout out on the way out today. Again, here's Brad from Central Illinois. Hi, Brad. How you doing? Yeah, and Kathy says that some friends of her son went to the ranch, and it made him a better man. And that's exactly what Bart Starr has done. He has made humanity better. I mean, he's been about so much more than football, and yet what he contributed to football to me is vital too. So, yeah, what a fantastic guy. Hector says, have a great day. You too, man. I hope you have a fantastic day. The weekend is almost here, so hang in there, buddy. Tony from Canton, Ohio. Hi there. How you doing? Kathy is in Baraboo. All right. Good to see you. We got our Wisconsin people represented as well. I am a Wisconsin boy, ostracized out here in Tennessee. I always say that, I always kind of frame it that way. It's kind of one of those, you can take the boy out of Wisconsin, but you can't take Wisconsin out of the boy. So I will be back there in the homeland as much as I can. Jared's heading out. See you, man. Have a good day. Tony says they'll be at the game. Great. Enjoy it. And if you see anything in particular that catches your eye, we're watching Kenny Clark. We're watching Blake Martinez. We're watching all these guys. We want to see how Brett Hundley did. You give us your thoughts on that when you come back. because obviously next week, that's what we're going to be tearing apart and talking about is the Hall of Fame game. So, all right, folks, you have a great day. Hi there, Jack. Jack is from Kitchener, Ontario. I hope I see the E in there. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Good to have you on board, man. And guys, we will see all of you tomorrow morning right about the same time. We go on about 8:30 Central Standard Time. And we'll be talking about the Packers once again tomorrow. So for now, I will sign off. And as we always say here at GPN, oh, by the way, thanks for thumbs up. Thanks for contributing to the discussion about the Packers this year. Thank you so much if you're watching this on YouTube for subscribing to my channel. And I will catch all of you guys tomorrow. And as we always say on GPN, go Pack.